This is MegaPro Reviews.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Megadan29. Today, we got another review. I wanted to stay in the Halloween theme, I suppose. But we got Demon's Crest on the Super Nintendo. But I wanted to talk about this game because this is one of those games that people don't really talk about. And man, I think it's pretty decent. What you do in this game is this is the third game in the Gargoyles Quest series. So there's Gargoyles Quest 1 on the Game Boy, Gargoyles Quest 2 on the NES, and then there was Demon's Crest on the SNES. And basically, this is a story within the Ghosts and Goblins realm. You're playing as the Red Aramare. I'm sure you guys know this stuff, but just in case you don't, I wanted to make sure to tell you. So, this is the third game, and I think from the story, it's tough for me to tell, but I think it's a prequel. I actually think it's a prequel that then goes into the Demon's Crest game. So I think to play legitimately, I think you'd have to play this one first, then Gargoyles Quest 1 and Gargoyles Quest 2, I think. So don't quote me on that. But the story is essentially, there's some demon that has all these crests. He throws them out into the world. You got to find them all so that you're strong enough to go kill them, basically. And you're trying to save, or just be the strongest demon in like the demon world, right? It's a story like that. You have to kill this other big demon guy. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's got multiple endings. I'm too strong for you, boy. So depending on how many crests you get and stuff like that, you get these different endings, and different things happen when you beat the boss. There's only like 5 levels, and different than my other reviews, I wanted to talk about in this review sort of almost a little bit of a tip or like walkthrough. And what that would be is, it's kind of it's very old school in the sense of like it just throws you in there at the beginning, and you're kind of like, man, what the heck's going on?
Man, this game's a lot different when you know what the fuck to do, for real.
So when you're at the map screen, you fly above it and you go to the different levels, and you have to dip down into them, and there's like secret stuff too. Basically, what you have to do is make sure you press start. Because when you press start, there's actually a map, and they don't tell you that or anything like that. And most people nowadays don't have the manual. But when you press start, it says the missions 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, so you can go to them in order. And so that's just something to kind of starter guide for you if you do play this. This game, by the way, runs at about $250 nowadays loose. So I would say the best thing to do is probably emulate it. It's a good game, though, if you did want to collect it. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely fun. What's cool about this game also is you kind of find yourself revisiting levels. It's not super long with the amount of levels there is. I think there's only like 6 levels or something like that. And they're not even long levels either. But what you have to do is you get different crests that essentially give you different suits. And one of the suits will, you know, swim in the water, and one suit will help you destroy these statues, and just all sorts of different things like that. It gives you different powers so that you can access different parts of the levels. So when you play through the levels, you have to go, okay, let me go back to this level. I remember there was water. Let me try to jump down into that water and see if I can swim down there and see if there's stuff down there. So that's kind of how it goes. I got through the whole game 100%. I got the secret ending. I got all kinds of stuff. And I didn't use any walkthroughs or anything like that. So it's definitely not too cryptic. You just got to take time going through the levels and like looking for stuff and things like that.
Are you threatening me?
But man, the graphics are awesome. They're definitely just like super G&G and stuff like that. That really pretty art style that the games have for Ghosts and Goblins. The difficulty, it wasn't too bad. There was definitely some hard parts. Definitely the secret boss at the end is pretty tough. But you're also geared up for him, though. You have all the crests. You're ready to go because you get stronger as it goes on. So it's a pretty cool game. You can grind in it. When you grind, you grind for money to buy like different spells, and you find these scrolls that give you different spells that you can use to wipe enemies off the screen and things like that. The controls, if you play this game, you have to get used to. If you play Gargoyles Quest 1 and 2, you'll be used to it. immediately. No, it'll be actually easier. But if you've never played one of these games and you start out with this, you definitely have to get used to it, as you have like this weird flying element that's not really flying. You're kind of just gliding, but you can keep gliding, like you don't go down. But then you get a power later that shoots you up and you actually can fly. So it's hard to explain. You definitely got to get used to it. Another tip I want you to do if you do play this game, what you can do is you can go to Google and you can type in Demon's Crest Super Nintendo Instruction Manual. And I would say definitely there's a PDF of a guy who basically photoed all the manual pages. And I would read through that and really just understand the whole game, because it's a little cryptic in the way of like just very common things like the controls and what you're supposed to do and the levels and things like that. And even reading the story full out description really helps you kind of understand what you're doing, because seriously, when you press start, it just drops you in there. So I would definitely do that. But we can get to the scoring of this game. Let's check it out. So graphically, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it's a 5. A perfect score on graphics. It's beautiful to look at. It's just like Super G&G. Super Ghouls and Ghosts was some of the best graphics I've ever seen. I love it so much. I just love the art style, and this is very much the same thing. Not as good, but it's very close. So I'd give that a 5. Sound, I would say I'll go ahead and give it like just a straight 3. Like, it's not great. I don't remember any crazy songs from it that, you know, ring a bell in my head or anything like that. It was pretty standard stuff when you're fighting bosses and things like that, but it wasn't bad. Control. Okay, so control is good for me. But I think for somebody getting used to it, it's gonna be a little rough. You just gotta get used to it. I think you'll like it once you figure it out, but figuring it out can be a little frustrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give that a 3 also, because for people like me that have played the Gargoyles Quest, it's fine. But for people that are gonna be new to the series, like this is the first one you play, you're gonna struggle a little bit, for sure. You might even be kind of like, man, this game sucks. And what I'm telling you is, just stick it out. Give it some time and keep working at it. The fun factor, man, the fun factor, as long as you read the instruction manual and you do what you're supposed to do, I would say it's like a 4.5. I got really into it. The more I started finding Crest, the more I knew what I was supposed to do, the more I found new things in the levels, and I really just got down everything I was supposed to do. You start to get really powerful and you see all these bosses and stuff, and you really feel the progression. So it feels really, really good to do that. So I think that's a 4.5. So it's not a perfect game by any means, but I do think it's really good, and I think it's worth playing. And it's just something that people don't really talk about. Like, the whole time I've been collecting Super Nintendo, not a lot of people have talked to me about, dude, you should try Demon's Crest. Like, nobody's really said that, even Ghosts and Goblins fans. I think something like this, the Gargoyles Quest series, I think is a lot better than the Maximo series, and people are all over Maximo. I think Gargoyles Quest is a lot better. In this game, do I like this the best out of the series? That is a really tough question. I'm going to go ahead with yes, but I don't think it started out as a yes. I think the more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. You know, you got to give this game a chance. Don't turn it off really quickly if it starts making you mad or you don't understand something. Even to the point to where I would say don't let it ruin your gameplay. Even if you have to look something up or something like that, and you have to like just see what I'm supposed to do first or something, I would just do it. If it means you're going to quit, I would look it up and figure out what to do, or ask somebody or something like that. I have a playthrough on my channel if you need to see anything, but give it a go, man. I know it's an expensive one, so if you're not sold on it, the best thing to do, hey, when I first tried it, I had a Super Nintendo Classic, the SNES Classic, and I have it modded, and it's got all the games on it. And man, you can follow that online. You can get Demon's Crest down there and just give it a try. Play the first 3-4 levels, and then heck, maybe you say, man, I want to own that game. And that's kind of where I was at, because I'm a big Ghosts and Goblins fan. So definitely give it a try. So Demon's Crest, guys, this Halloween, go ahead and mod your consoles, get your emulators, do whatever you got to do. Give it a go. Let me know what you think of it. Go to my video if you want to. Leave a comment. Let me know that you played it. Let me know what you think, because this one, I'm not really sure how everybody's going to like it. I'm actually really curious to hear. So anyways, guys, thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Mega Pro Reviews. To see a full playthrough of this game, check out Dan on his channel, MegaDan29. We'll see you next time, everybody. Keep gaming.
Alright guys, that's the end. That's the ultimate ending. Wow.